The crumbling St. Lucian economy has forced officials to resort to offering the option of an alternative salary payment of part cash, part bonds to civil servants. It remains unclear whether the trade union affiliates have agreed to the salary options provided by the government. Prime Minister Alan Shasney sought to address the gnawing issue of salary payments to civil servants in an interview with the media outside Parliament building on Tuesday.
It is important that we were able to say to them, here's what the problem is. We have a short-term crisis immediately facing us. That short-term crisis is that revenues to the state started to decline significantly in the month of March, and we now don't have the estimate for the month of April. So in the month of April, revenues have declined over 60%. And certainly the prognosis, at least for the next 2 months, are very similar to the month of April.
In the grim forecast, the Prime Minister sought to remind interested parties of the cash shortage facing the government. Moreover, Shasney stresses that the blended salary option is in no way a wage reduction.
We've indicated this is not a pay cut because we're giving it to you in the form of bonds, which can be redeemed in 1 year's time at an interest rate of 3%. I'm very heartened to hear that some of the credit unions have already started to indicate that they're willing to convert those bonds into cash.
The Prime Minister views the integrated form of salary payment as a first step. He says a longer-term conversation will take place in September following an assessment of the global economic situation and its impact on St. Lucia. Meanwhile, Leader of the Opposition, Philip J. Pierre, reiterates what he calls the importance of prioritizing people over projects.
In this crisis, you need people. The government wants to continue all its projects that are unnecessary at this time. The government insists that they must continue them. But in terms of paying the civil servants, the government wants to reduce their income. Now, let me tell you what will happen. Civil servants have to pay their domestic help, they have to pay for medication, they have to do their shopping, etc. When you cut the disposable income, you reduce the money that you have to spend in the economy.
A total of 5 meetings have been held thus far between the Trade Union Federation affiliates and government officials. According to Prime Minister Alan Shasney, a 6th meeting is set to take place this evening, Tuesday, 28th April. He expressed hope for due consideration to be given to the dire fiscal constraints facing the island. Prime Minister Alan Shasney will be presenting the 2020-2021 estimates of revenue and expenditure on Wednesday, 29th April 2020 from 10 a.m. Solange Alfred, HCS News Force.